The last of these 6 heroes is here in Victor on Deadlock. Hey guys, I'm Rob, and I'm filling in for Connor here at Dead Unlocked. I'm part of the Game Haus as well. When he's sick or when we need to do an extra video and he's unavailable, I'm going to be filling in for you guys, and I'm really excited to be going over Victor, the last of these 6 new heroes that we've been getting for Deadlock. All of them have been a blast so far, and I'm really excited to dive in today. We're going to be taking a look at his abilities, we're going to be taking a look at his lore, and we're going to talk about some potential build ideas. So before we get any further, make sure you guys like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the great Deadlock content we have coming out here at Dead Unlocked. But yeah, and then let us know in the comments what you guys think of this new character, the new hero that has been added, and his abilities. He may have been last, but he's definitely not last in my heart. He was definitely one of the ones that I was most excited about. Let's take a look and see kind of what he can do right now. So Pain Battery is going to be his first ability here, and it's going to say, taking any damage passively charges up your Pain Battery. Once full, activating the ability zaps all targets in front of you, dealing spirit damage. So, okay, so already looking like a spirit hero, something that we were probably kind of expecting at this point. We'll go through his, upgrades for abilities here in a little bit, but it's about 20 meters. That's pretty interesting. One of the things I'm most interested to see for him, honestly, is going to be his gun. What is he going to use for that basic attack? But continuing on, we have Jump Start here. This one is interesting. So deal spirit damage to yourself, okay, then gain bonus regeneration and bonus movement speed, decaying over time. So it's going to allow you to get in and out of fights a little bit better, and then you get better regeneration, which, depending on the amount of damage you do to yourself, could be pretty good. I mean, I guess this will allow you to get, like I said, I think out of fights will probably be the best way to do it. Aura of Suffering. Unleash pain, dealing spirit damage over time to both enemies and yourself. Wow, I mean, he is really, really suffering, to say the least. Almost every ability has some sort of damage thing, and this is something that you see in a lot of MOBAs. By the way, this is something that, as a longtime League of Legends player, that I have seen a lot of different champions. This kind of reminds me of Dr. Mundo, if you are a League of Legends fan, where he does damage to himself with all of his different abilities. So this fits a little bit with the way that Victor is made. Unleash pain, dealing spirit damage, okay, and then the damage continues to increase the longer the ability is channeled. Interesting, up to a maximum amount. Alright, so we'll have to definitely see that one. And then his ultimate here is Shocking Reanimation. So this is kind of similar, I think, to what we saw with the leaked abilities. At least this is the one that I remember, or something similar to it. Reanimate after taking lethal damage, dealing spirit damage, and applying stuns to nearby enemies. So you get 100% of your health back, which is interesting. And this one's gonna be, I don't know, intriguing to see. So let's switch over to him and let's see how we're doing here. So his model is pretty cool, honestly. Like, he's a pretty big guy here. Somebody who, it kind of fits this Victor, Frankenstein type thing here. So let's see here. I thought initially they named him Frank. Really cool. He's got like a crawl animation for his dash. What about his dash and his slide? Okay, so slide is interesting as well. Look at the hit marker here. Like, what is going on? So does this stack over time? Doesn't look like it gets any faster. All right, what about his punch? Okay, just looks like a normal punch. Nothing too crazy. Wait, does he like throw his arm? He throws his arm. Just kidding. He throws his freaking arm. That is awesome. All right, so then, yeah, we'll kill him real quickly and see what comes up next here. I guess let's just do the base layers for this. So, taking any damage. So we're gonna have to take damage. We're gonna have to probably go to the sandbox actually to kind of get this going here. But let's at least do this one. Let's see about the spirit regen and everything. So he did some damage to himself. He heals it back pretty quickly, to be honest with you. So nothing too crazy there. Let's just get this now, I think. So we can actually still do this. Okay. Wow. So it's kind of like in an arc there. Interesting. So the more damage then that we take from this, right? Okay, so it's only when it's full. Okay, interesting. There's your block animation. Now, what does this 3 do again? So Aura of Suffering to you and your enemies. The longer it's channeled. So let's channel this. So, so you can just basically hold this down indefinitely. And then you could do this and then run. Oh, so it's a toggle. It's a toggle. Okay. Didn't realize that. And then let's see. Can I just use this anyways? Can I not use... I can't use this shocking reanimation. Reanimate after taking lethal damage. So I wonder if this works. So let's just turn this on real quick. And let's see if we die from this. Right? Let's see if I can reanimate while here. Okay, so I can. So I'm using the reanimation. Oh, wow. Okay, so that is crazy strong. You can just dive into the middle of a fight with 2, right? So this thing's going to do that. You've got this on. You're dealing damage while shooting, so you're suffering yourself, or you're killing yourself. I guess he's kind of a masochist, to be honest with you. And then once you die, it automatically does it. You don't have to do anything else. It's a passive. That is crazy. That is actually insane. Now, let's look. So I want to look at each one of these and just see kind of what else it does as you upgrade them. So extra damage applies 40% slow for 2 seconds. So let's just see that. Okay. Interesting. Not that you can see much from that. I'll just kill him real quick. Okay, cool. And then you have on hero hit, heal for 20% of your missing health. Wow. Okay, so that's pretty strong too, right? So we'll take the damage here. Now, does it work when it's out of... So it still hurts you even if you're not damaging somebody. So then let's turn this off and damage him. Okay, that's pretty freaking strong, honestly. What a cool kit. I love when games play with health as, like, that's their way of, you know, you have your pros and cons with every hero, right? And being able to sacrifice health instead of something else can make it really strong. I mean, we're going to have to go with a health build for him, so we'll talk about that in a second. But then we have, so plus movement speed from this. Total regen is just 50 more, which is fine. Then on cooldown, or minus 8 seconds on cooldown, on cast, purge non-ultimate debuffs. Well, again, very strong to get in and out of fights with that one. Then the suffering, so you get this early. Enemies are slowed. 10% or plus 10 minimum DPS and 50 max DPS. That's pretty good. And then enemies take 13% damage. So let's see what this does now. Because it doesn't really change for us, right? Like, I guess it does. But interesting. Okay. Then what about this last one? So on revive, gain 25% fire rate and 10% or 10 spirit damage per bullet, minus 20 seconds on the cooldown, and then a 200 damage and 3-meter radius. So, all right, let's try this one more time. We'll die this time before the 7 does. Now, what's the natural cooldown on this? 160 seconds. So, you're closing in on. You could use this pretty much every 3 minutes, which is kind of insane when you think about it.
Now's a good time to give up.
Kind of wild. Kind of wild, to be honest. All right, just hold tight. We're gonna go take a look at Victor's lore, but I'm already getting some ideas for builds in my head as well, and we'll go over those in a second too. So we're back here for the lore for Victor, and it looks pretty short, especially compared to a couple of the other new heroes, but let's go through it real quickly. A lot of people spend their whole lives wondering who they really are. For Victor, this existential question is made more complicated as he woke up on a mortuary table with no knowledge of his creator, why he was made, and whom he is made of. Okay, interesting. Now, searching the 5 boroughs for answers, Victor is hoping to find someone who can identify any part of him. Kind of crazy to say the least. This is Frankenstein. I mean, it's just he's a little bit more has a little bit more personality than some of the Frankensteins that we are used to. This existential question that we all ask is why we're here, right? And he gets to ask that for, I think, a very specific reason, considering he is made of different people. I mean, he uses his arm as his melee, so pretty interesting. I don't know that we'll get more lore and back lore really from him, at least anytime soon, but I would certainly be open to it. I've been enjoying reading the lores for a lot of these heroes. But yeah, hang tight. We're going to go over and check out some builds here in just a second. We're back at the shop. Now, let's see what we've got here. So, as anticipated, pretty much all of this is vitality and health, right? That makes a ton of sense. He seems like he is going to be kind of noob friendly. That's what this card means, right? But at the same time, I think he is going to be somebody who you can experiment with quite a bit. Early game, you're going to want as much health as possible. Really, throughout the game, in all honesty. Like, when we're looking at this, right, I think even getting Colossus here wouldn't be a terrible idea as you get into the late game. I'd love to kind of see, now, do they have that on here? Yeah, I was going to say some Spirit Lifesteal would be interesting on him, just to kind of see how much he can heal up. Like, can he essentially do enough damage to keep his 3 on, which is reminding me now that's very similar to a Mumu from League of Legends, for those of you who have played that, with his crying and that ability kind of going at all times, except that ability takes away mana instead of health. This one is health, right? Sorry, just making those connections in my head. But, what is really interesting is that, like, there is the opportunity here to kind of see that. I might just put that on him real quickly, and then we can maybe see what's going to go on with that. But I mean, it really and truly, he's spirit, he is health. That is pretty much it. You could maybe do something with his his rate of fire there if you really wanted to. What's going to be interesting is, like, farming and lane and everything, I think, is actually not going to be too bad for him. He's going to be a little bit of like an anti-dive hero as well, when you think about it, because if you kill him in the middle of a team fight, he is going to come out dealing a pretty significant amount of damage and then just being right back at full health anyways. You're not going to probably be able to reset this right to the point of where, oh, see, look, there was Colossus there. I didn't see it right away. But, he's not going to necessarily be able to reset, right away, which is fine. But in the early game in laning, once he gets his ultimate, it's going to be really hard to dive him right away, because the animation only takes a couple seconds. It looks like 3 seconds, I think. You should be able to dodge, but if you're playing with somebody who has a lockdown, right, if you're able to, I've just been playing a lot of Paige lately, so using her third ability there to try to lock him down, I'm hoping they'll speed that up a little bit. But, this seems like a really fun kit. I'm kind of interested to see how everybody else is going to build him. Again, I feel like you got to go health, you got to go this lifesteal, and then after that, I don't really know. I think you can go a little bit further down this spirit train than some people might, think. Could you go lightning scroll? You potentially could go lightning scroll, because then you're stunning them in that area as well, which would be pretty crazy when you think about it. But he's like a ticking time bomb just waiting to go off. I want to quickly just check and see what this 3 ability, which one is this one, Aura of Suffering, because I think that is going to be mostly what you build around. I want to see how this does with it. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at how much damage he's doing while still healing. It's kind of crazy, because then you just drop this, right, and you're right back up into a pretty good spot there with healing. I don't know. I mean, he is going to be so freaking tanky. I'm really excited to give this hero a try. I hope that you guys are too. I hope you guys didn't mind that I stepped in for Connor today as well. We're really excited to continue growing here at Dead Unlocked, and I'm excited for this game to come out and be, open beta at least here pretty soon. Wouldn't surprise me to see the game just like fully launched. This is a pretty, if we go and look at it, last little thing I'll say here is somebody who's played a lot of MOBAs, covered a lot of MOBAs over the years. This is a pretty significant pool of characters, of any kind, where you call them heroes, champions, whatever. I think they could fill this out, down here. Get these last 3 in here to make it, I think, a full roster. But you're starting to get your assassins, with Drifter. You're starting to get even better supports, like newer supports with Paige, right? And a different type of tank with Victor. There's a lot that they added with these 6 heroes, and I'm excited to see kind of what is going to be coming next. But that's going to wrap it up for us here at Dead Unlocked. So, from our house to yours, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.